Where are you on this issue? And do you think the votes are there or not?
Yeah, look, the president made a very compelling case yesterday. It is clear why he is frustrated. We have unprecedented obstruction from Democrats, and he's had it since day one. I mean, if you look at the nomination process and the fact that by us not change, we had to change the rules actually to be able to get his nominees through. If you remember, he didn't have one nominee as of September go through by voice vote or unanimous consent, whereas Barack Obama at that time in his presidency had 292 that had. That's just one indicator of the fact that they want to put up every roadblock possible for him enacting his agenda. Look, Leader Thune has said that the votes are not there. So right now, what I am working on is another pathway forward. I have been working on appropriations bills starting last week, talking with obviously our Republican colleagues. Susan Collins there is chair of the Appropriations Committee, but colleagues across the aisle to say, let's get back to doing the work of the American people. Let's get some of these bills through and take these things off the table so Democrats can't use them as leverage moving forward. So to your point, obviously there's a lot of work ahead of us. It'll be interesting to see what he says at 11, but I think his frustrations are real and they are very well founded, and we've got to find pathways forward.
Senator, I want to ask you about something that we saw take place yesterday. Senator Bernie Sanders decided to take over Chuck Schumer's news conference, where he actually took aim at Democrats. Take a listen to this.
No great secret. Of course, there's an establishment, and of course, there's a division within the Democratic Party. There's no secret to anybody here.
Well, with that level of disrespect to the Senate Minority Leader, I think there would be a big divide. I don't see a Republican ever doing that to John Thune. But who exactly is leading the Democrat Party right now?
Well, that's the question. And look, we see Democrats gloating about the election results. I mean, let's be real about that. Those were blue seats in blue states. I mean, this is nothing remarkable. And the truth is, I think what is remarkable is the kind of Democrat that they actually elected. I mean, you look at them electing Mondami, a self-avowed socialist in our financial capital of not just America, but the world. I mean, you look at the Attorney General that they elevated there in Virginia, who has said that he would like to see his opponent's life taken and that of his children. I mean, this is sick and twisted. And so I think the American people need to take a step back and say, who is in charge of the Democratic Party? It is clear that the left wing is no longer the left wing. They actually are in the driver's seat.
Yeah, and people are starting to feel this now, Senator. The FAA telling people that it's going to cut flight capacity by 10% at nearly 40 airports. I got an email overnight from United talking about how it's going to do that. The unions are turning on Democrats. This is getting worse and worse every day for Democrats, and they just don't seem interested in ending this thing and being reasonable.
Look, they are being selfish and short-sighted. The fact that they can walk past Capitol policemen every day who are trying to figure out how to make ends meet, who are not getting a paycheck, let's be clear, but yet have a mortgage or rent, or they have a car payment or child care payment. The arrogance that that takes is absolutely unbelievable. At the end of the day, think about this. We are about to celebrate Veterans Day, and yet they're going to have a bill on the floor, likely as soon as today, that funds veteran services. If they walk away from that, I think that is an absolute new low. And so what we need to do is actually do our job, move these bills. I am hopeful that we can have a CR that is attached to that in some way so that we can open the government up and continue to do the work of the American people. But I think you're seeing Democrats hit new lows. And the fact that they want to take victory laps about this election, blue seats in blue states, and not put American people first is incredibly disturbing. And for me, when I hear Head Starts in my state are closing, when I hear that lines at food banks and the number of people coming are up, when I hear about people who, are being furloughed and can't meet their financial obligations or feed their family, when I hear about small businesses, closing their doors, or when you hear about what's happening with FAA, just as you said, I mean, these people are asked to come to work and yet not get paid. We're having to decrease what's going on there so that these people can find other jobs, and all the while it is inconveniencing Americans who may have had, whether it's a wedding or a special event or need to be with a family member who's sick. Those things are going to be taken off the table from them because Democrats continue to be selfish and short-sighted.
Information, truth is freedom. is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.